Yo, welcome to the Thoughts and Theories podcast. It's Chris with a K here. And yeah, welcome to episode whatever number it is. I've lost count by now. I'm thinking we were still in the teens by like 16 or 17 by now. But welcome to my podcast. If it's your first time, please make sure whatever you do after the podcast or pause it right now, please make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on all the digital platforms, leave a comment, and most importantly, share what I'm doing, this podcast, with anybody that has ears that like podcasts, just like to hear someone just talk about real stuff. And you can do that all by going to chrisative.com. That's spelled KRISATIVE.com. Once again, that's KRISATIVE.com is my name and the word creative put together. Hence the name Chrisative. Do that, and you go on that website. You can follow me on all my platforms on social media, as well as the very last link button on the bottom of the page is the link to actually my shirt store. I actually sell shirts. That didn't come out right. Shirts, awesome creative shirts I come up with. That's one way to definitely help support me and appreciate what I'm doing. It's pretty cool shirts too, right? And also outside. So if you want to support me just financially, you can do that way. Outside, supporting me the free ways, which is following me, my content, subscribing, liking, commenting, and sharing it to everybody. All right. So today, what? Funny thing is, the cool thing about my podcast is I talk about things that I'm thinking about in life. Things that you've probably thought about in the depths in the back of your mind, but never really cared to think about it until someone brought it up. I'm like, oh yeah, I thought about that too, but I thought it was a lost cause because I thought I'm the only person that thinks like that. Well, guess what? You're not alone. You're definitely not alone. All right. Well, turns out, people, one thing I'm learning about, because I work at a warehouse and basically it's very robotic. I don't have to interact with people to do my job. I can literally come and work, do my job and go home. And for those who don't know what I do, I work in a warehouse. I've been working in for the past 5 years. Basically, I pick and pack contact lenses. Basically, to give you an illustration, think of if someone gave you a list to go to the grocery store and shop for that, and that list is on a handheld scanner that you probably seen other people in places like Walmart and stuff scanning items in the inventory and stuff like that. So I hold a scanner which is called an RF scanner. It's a pretty nifty thing, right? And instead of groceries, I pick contact lenses. I put them in these little blue containers called totes and put them on this belt, assembly belt, serpentine belt, whatever belt's called, and it goes around the warehouse to the packing department. People pack it. I also know how to pack them too, so from time to time I pack. Very simple job, not the hardest thing in the world, but after you get used to the job, it becomes very robotic, right? It kind of seems like it's sucking the humanity out of you. And yeah, that's something that just popped in my head, a saying that says we are not robots. And the reason why I say that is if you look at how society is set up, funny thing, speaking of warehouse, we were all designed, they say, not sure how true it is, but it sounds pretty true to me. It says traditional school only prepares us to be warehouse workers, meaning they tell you what time to come in, what time to go and break, how to count, do very basic stuff like that. And I feel like that's true, right? Because this job I'm at, there's really no requirement to work there outside of age. If you're in high school, you can work it. Out of high school, you can work it. As long as you just 18 years of age or older, you're good to go, right? And also sometimes they allow people a little bit younger than 18 to work, But anyways, basically, if you look at how society is set up, we are all designed to be warehouse workers, to basically be robots. Because when you think of warehouse, you think of robots, because most warehouses these days are or have been replaced with robots. They say they're scared of how technology is going to take over if you own the business and your business owners. Anytime money comes into the business, that's called revenue. But anytime money goes out, that's called expenses. But unfortunately, we were not educated on the fact that our paychecks fall on the end of expenses when it comes to business owners. So yes, if you're thinking like I'm thinking, we are the dreaded four-letter B word. Well, dreaded four or five letter B word. And I'm not talking about a female dog. I'm talking about bills or bill. You know, we're bill or bills, depending if they have multiple employees, right? So think about it. Anybody that I have ever known in my life that has bills never liked them. In fact, they wanted to get rid of them. You know, that's the only thing that's a residual in our lives that we're taught about that affect us, impact us negatively. The business owners, they usually make residuals passively. You know, whether they wake up or not, money comes in. You know, that's a positive residual, right? Having a business, get a positive residuals. But working a job, you're really just a negative residual. You have to come into work to make that money. So it's, you know, if you work, you eat. If you don't work, you don't eat. But the business owner, they don't have to work because they hired people to do the working for them. So they don't have to work. But they still get to eat and eat way much more than the average person, right? So at the end of the day, you look at it, bills, the things we hate. So think about it. The more we ask for pay raises, the more money we want in our bank account. You're literally just asking business owner, hey, could you just raise your bill? Could you raise your bill? Like, anybody that likes bills do not want to raise them. Trust me, they don't. They want to lower them. That's why if you look at why you don't get pay raises as often as you should at jobs, is because it's going to take more money out of the business owner's pocket, which they have more than enough. But come on, they went in business to get as much as they can, right? Get all they can get, right? Never to lower their expenses, but increase their bottom line. If you subtract the revenue, the money that comes in, minus the expenses, the money goes out, that is the bottom line. That's their profits. And they're always trying to increase that bottom line, which is the profits. So paying us more will decrease the profits, opposed to keeping us at the same pay raise or getting rid of us will increase their profits in a sense, you know? So the reason why I say robots is that the thing about robots is that they're not human. They don't complain, they don't call out sick, they don't steal, they don't lie, they don't talk back, they don't do none of that stuff. So usually robots are a big investment up at front, but guess what? Once you get them working and they function just right, guess what? It eventually turns into a profit for them, because guess what? One-time major investment from time to time. They'll have to spend money on them for repairs, but other than that, guess what? They can work 24/7 around the clock. They don't ask for anything. They're just giving you work. You know, so it works out in the business owners, but not the people. If you have not already noticed, a lot of robots are replacing people's job. You know, like McDonald's. I know they were asking for, like, people, they're asking for $15 raise. You see kiosks in McDonald's now, right? So you can either go to the register and order, or you can just go to the kiosk and order. Or, you know, let's see, I look in the grocery stores, you know, Whole Foods has it. You know, where the self-checkout, which has become prevalent. Walmart has it. I know Target has it, the self-checkout. The person's like, man, wow, this is more prevalent, you know, and stuff like that. Yes, it's for the business owner, because guess what? That's less money they have to pay. Each kiosk booth replaces an employee, basically, like that. So the point all around this is that robots are taking over. You know, and humanity is being shrunk or minimalized. And the reason why I say that, because we are all trained to be like robots, to operate, to not, you know, to live, to not remember and recognize that we're humans. We have emotions and stuff like that. If you ever come to work, they say don't bring your emotions, what goes on outside this job, into. Obviously, for a reason, you want to make sure the person is productive as possible. But then again, guess what? Your job is not psychologist or therapist office where they want to really come and hear about what's going on in your life. They really want you to come and get the job done and go home. Then you can talk about your feelings and stuff elsewhere, as long as it's outside of the job, right? You know, and that's how I really feel. You know, if you look at just social media, you look at Instagram, you look at filters, guess what? Filters, these models, these Instagram models, these people, they are looking like they're perfect, like they have no blemishes. Like, think about it. Like, growing up, here's even a funny thing. Growing up, you know, the fact that when you hear people fart in public, say, oh gosh, or you hear the joke about, oh guys, like, oh my gosh, if my girlfriend ever farted in front of me, I'm dumping her, right? But forgetting that she's human too. So think about it, to the fact that we objectify women, not for the fact that they're human, but for what they can provide, their physical attributes, you know, for what they can do us and please us. I mean, I've been looking at Netflix a lot, and I'm a lot into action shows They're about adventure. They're kind of sci-fi that lately has to do with space travel and robots and stuff. And there's just one show I'm watching called Lost in Space, and you have these androids, right? And these androids are pretty cool. They look very human and stuff like that. The only thing that's obviously not human about them is that they're robots and stuff like that. So just look at it. They have no emotion and stuff like that. And then they're on this one show, like the Lost in Space show, like basically something happened where the crew that was on this ship, they were all like evil people. Someone put them in stasis pod and wiped their memories. And for some reason, the android that was actually, I guess they were deactivated and turned off. What actually happened to the android is that for whoever was programming the android put a software in them to program to have emotions and stuff and feelings. But when that robot who was programmed to have feelings and stuff was analyzed by another robot that's just completely robot, no programming for human feelings, interaction, stuff like that at all, they were saying the robot with the feelings was a flaw. So literally, it's literally programming us to teach us that having emotions, crying and stuff like that, especially for men, is weak. And it's not to be tolerated if you want to be a man in this country. If you're going through stuff, you're about to cry. Real men don't cry. So it's literally making us numb to our feelings and our emotions. I mean, you look at medication, painkillers. Painkillers just do not cure anything. They just make you numb of the pain you're having. So if you're suffering with something, guess what? You're still suffering with it when you take the painkiller. The painkiller just make you numb to the fact that you're suffering, right? So making us forget that we're humans. You look at that, you look at the filter, people can't be real and stuff like that. So it's just everything is literally being roboticized. Like, you know, like the head of society is Dr. Robotnik from Sonic. And if you guys aren't familiar, he was this evil villain. And what he would do, he would capture people and he would put in a machine that turned them into robots. You know, which is astonishing. Like, this stuff is kind of bad. These little clues have been given to us for a while now, and it's kind of, you know, frightening. Some people wouldn't mind being robots for the simple fact that you live longer. You know, if there's any way to take the human consciousness and just put in a robot, we can live forever. But I think we would get bored of life. I don't think we were meant in a sense to live forever where we are our gods. But I think we're in a sense we were made to live forever with the God who actually created us, because he knows how to govern us and rules us, because guess what? He created us. But we who did not create ourselves, meaning we're finite beings, trying to give ourselves the capability of being God's our own selves is just going to lead down to destruction. I mean, I've looked at shows. I've even looked at the movie Twilight, where in one of the movies, the last movie, where the Volturi, if I'm saying her name right, there's this one character, vampire, she could see the future, and she was showing the evil leader guy the future. And then, like, you know, basically, because he wanted to be God and rule everything, in a sense, kind of like that, he's always just trying to rule and get all the superpowers on his side to be under his dominion and under his rule. And he saw inevitably that he was going to die if he kept down this path. But one of the crew, his lieutenants or so, his brothers on the Volturi, was finally about to die, get his head snapped out. He's probably been living for hundreds of years. And when he was dying, he was like, finally, he was embracing death, you know. So there's something there is about death and experiencing life and being human and having emotion that makes it so worth it. I mean, without emotions, think about it. Without emotions, we'll be robots. We couldn't love anybody, fall in love with anybody. There would be no joy. There would be no laughs. Like, think about it. World without laughing. Thinking of a world without roasting. Like, you can't roast somebody. Oh my gosh. You know how boring life would be? You can't roast nobody. You can't laugh at nothing. I mean, yes, pain would be not exist anymore, so you won't have to suffer anymore. But come on, joy, laughter, appreciation. There's no use for food, and I love food. There's probably a lot of you out there that are foodies that love food. Think about that. How the world is trying to slowly transfer us into robots. I mean, they're already talking about putting chips inside of us and all that stuff like that. But that is horrible if they do. I mean, I saw this movie. It's called Alita. This is a movie about this robot, but she has like a human heart and some human organs in that. And the cool thing I love about her is that, yes, she's a robot on the outside, but inside she's human, you know, and she learns how to love and stuff, and she easily gives her heart away, but her heart is powered by this machine that's super duper trooper powerful, you know, and stuff like that. So I love the aspect of, yeah, she wasn't born human, unless I'm getting the movie wrong, but her human aspect is what allowed her to excel, and not just a robot. Because the robot says, oh my gosh, you've reached maximum strength and stuff, but she goes beyond that by digging and reaching to our human side. I mean, think about it. Without humanity, potential wouldn't make sense. There would be no such thing as potential. It would just be, once you max out your limit, that's it. There's no going beyond or further than that. There would be no new ideas. It would just be brainless and lifeless and just blah. You know, I don't like the sound of that. So my thing I want to bring and be aware to you guys is this: like, what part of your life? Sorry, I was driving the whole time. So I'm gonna turn the light here so you can see me. Bam, bam, bam. I hope that lighting's better. That's better. All right. So the question is about your life. Like, what part of your life that you allow yourself to become robotic? I think, like, once you start feeling like a robot in life, that's when you're not living. That's when you're dead, right? You know, like if you're going to the 9 to 5 every day, and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to Friday, or I hate this, and you already clocked that out when you're going in, guess what? You are literally turning to a robot then. I still work a job, and literally I feel like quitting every day. I'm not going to lie, I'm human and stuff like that, because I feel like there's more for me out there, which I'm embarking on, and I'm learning, and I've ran into cool people. Shout out to Sherelle, our sister Tanya, I met at the Smoke concert. If you haven't listened to that podcast, I think it was the one, literally one before this, so go back on that. And if you're watching this on any other platform and stuff like that, because I will maybe start posting some of these episodes to maybe like Instagram, maybe Facebook and stuff like that. So if you're on that, just please go to chrisative.com and it'll link you right up to the podcast to catch back up on all the episodes and watch the full episodes and stuff like that. But Sherelle is just amazing, beautiful woman. I met her and her sister, and like literally when she speaks, she thinks the same way I think about. She's like, she was telling me that she doesn't pinpoint exactly what she knows what she wants to do, but she wants to do something that she's passionate about and excited about every day, and obviously make money doing it, you know, make a whole lot of money, matter of fact. And I'm like, God, yes, that's me. Do something that I'm passionate about, just not do it because of the money, because if you're just doing it because of the money, then you start screwing over people and it's not going to go right? So it's like, I want to do something that I'm passionate about, that I want to inspire, you know, something that I can inspire, you know, and then if I end up selling something, you know, it's something that can better people's life and help them, you know. So I just want to be on an adventure with my life and not be robotic. So when you're in a state where you're in the adventure, that's when you're human. But when you're in the monotonous hamster wheel, that's kind of like being the robot to me, you know, because I think we were designed to live a life of love, joy, just of all these emotions, different emotions and stuff like that. We can't live that if we turn it off, become numb to it, and be robots. So what in your life that you're doing that's making you a robot, that's making you numb to the humanity side? All right, whatever it is, I want to know. I want to find out. So wherever you are at, leave me a comment, leave me a message, a DM, wherever the case, however you can message me. I want to know, because I love to hear great stories and stuff like that. And also, I'm gonna start doing a segment at the end of every podcast, you know, depending on this segment only depends on you, the listeners, right? So like every day I try to come on. What I want you guys to do, send in questions. It could be about what I talked on the podcast. It could be a question about me, want to get to know me. It could be about anything, what my thoughts is on this or that. Just send your questions in. You can leave me a message. If you follow me on if you go to chrisative.com, go to my YouTube channel, subscribe to that. The best way to leave me a question is on any video I have, just leave a question there. Just leave a question there on any of my YouTube videos. On YouTube, leave a question in the comments, and I'll answer it the following episode. Also, you can DM me the questions to my my Instagram, which is also a link to my Instagram to follow me, that on chrisative.com. Or you can leave a voice message on the Anchor app. So if you go to listen to my podcast, which is the first link on the first button on the chrisative.com, there's actually a tab. Once you click in that tab, it's going to show you different ways to listen to the podcast. But this podcast is actually I'm recording and using the Anchor app, and you can actually upload me a voice message so I can hear your voice, so I can understand the tone of the question, right? And all that stuff. So whatever question may be, I will answer it. You can do that, and I will start trying to do that at the end of every episode. It's only going to work if I have you guys leave the leave the questions, right? If no one asks questions, then I can't do the segment, right? And also I want to open up and do more segments and stuff like that, which I haven't thought of yet. And ultimately probably a co-host, 2 co-hosts to do this podcast with, because just life is better in community instead of exile, if that makes sense. But anyways, yes, love you guys. Just pulled up to the house. I'm about to go in. I didn't eat anything all day because I woke up late to work. So I literally just drank coconut water and maybe a plant-based cookie I had. That's all I ate today. I still feel fine, got energy like that, but I'm going to go inside and pig out. I'm going to make me some quinoa with some Parmesan cheese and my famous purple goddess smoothie, and maybe with some gluten-free chickpea waffles, cinnamon waffles, agave on it. Sounds good. I'm gonna be a fat boy tonight. Yes, I am. All right. So thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, like this video, share it. If you're on any other platform, like a podcast platform, please share this video. Or if you're on social media, share this content. I want everybody just to hear my thoughts and theories, because I believe yours count too. So I want more people in the conversation. Only way that can happen if this goes viral and it gets shared with everybody. All right. So thank you so much. And if you want to support me financially, please make sure you definitely leave me. You can support me financially by downloading an Anchor app for free, and you can be a monthly donationer, if that's a word. Someone who donates monthly, a donationer. That's a word. A donationer. You can donate as little as $1 a month. That's like 3 cents a day, right? $1 a month, 3 cents a day. Or you can purchase some of my gear at christakeover.com. Just click on the very bottom tab that says my merch, and you're there. All right, so that's it, people. Thank you for tuning in. You're awesome. I'm Chris with a K, and I'm out. Peace.